Hi guys, and welcome to Hidden Treasures episode 5. This week I'm going to talk to you about an effect that has its basis in an effect that was released by Bob Steele back in 1966. But the actual effect I'm going to talk about was released in 1993. Now, seeing as we're all in lockdown, and I'm in lockdown while filming this, I've decided to choose a couple of effects that I believe will be able to be performed over video call. So over things like Zoom, Skype, Facebook, anything where you can sort of interact with your spectator, but you don't have to get them to pick a card. Now, before we go any further, if you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be informed every time a new video goes live. And remember, we've got a lot of new content happening over at the Alex Sam YouTube channel, so it'll really be worthwhile hitting that subscribe and hitting that bell notification. So I want to thank you all before we get started for all the kind comments I've been receiving about Hidden Treasures. I've had so many emails from people saying, do you know what, I've got every effect you spoke about, but you've made me dig them out and re-look at them. And that's the whole idea behind these. It's to introduce a lot of you to items from the past that are still as great today as they've always been. And for other people that have been into magic a bit longer to say, hey, check this out or recheck it out because it's still great. And the effect I'm going to talk to you about today is an effect that I've personally been performing on and off since its release in 1993. And I'll tell you a couple of different ways that I perform using these gimmicks. Now, this effect, when it first launched, created quite a buzz. If you were around in that time, you would have known it because every magic magazine was featuring this. There was always a big advert, whether you were buying the Abra, Magic, Genie, whatever magazine you'd have, there would be an advert for this trick. And I performed it behind the Alex Sam dealer's booth for a good couple of years. And I'll tell you quite honestly, I still demonstrate this in the shop, and every time I do, it blows people away. The good thing about it is that you can perform it on 2 people. It's lovely to perform on a couple. You can perform it in various situations. Whether you want to perform it walk around, you can do it. Whether you want to perform it table hopping, if you want to perform it at the top table at a wedding, whether you're doing a parlor show. And there's also a great little version that you can do as a stand-up opener, which I'll talk to you about in a moment. So anyway, let's show you what the trick is. Seeing as we are in lockdown, I decided, a lot of you will know who know me, I've got quite a big family. I've got sisters, I've got brothers. My sisters all have children. They're all grown up now with their own children. And because we are a big family, we're also very, very close. So I speak to my nieces, nephews and sisters on a weekly basis. So during one of the calls to one of my nephews, I performed this trick on them and I recorded it for you guys now. So this is a performance of the effect on my nephew Gavin and my niece, his lovely wife, Emma. Because I know you guys have got a good imagination. Emma, I know you're very, very creative, so this is going to work hopefully well with you. But I've got 2 small packets of cards. Emma and Gavin, I want you to imagine that both of these packs, the red ones, are all queens. So we've got the Queen of Hearts, Queen of Spades, Queen of Clubs, and Queen of Diamonds, and exactly the same for the blue ones over here, the 4 queens: Hearts, Clubs, Spades, and Diamonds. Now, Emma, you've got a totally free choice. I want you to choose for yourself either the red packet or the blue packet. Which would you like?
Red.
The red packet. Okay, in your mind, I just want you to think, don't say anything, but think of one of the queens. It could be the Queen of Hearts, Clubs, Spades, or Diamonds. Have you got one in your mind?
Yeah.
You got one? Okay, Gavin, so Emma chose the red packet for her, so that leaves you the blue packet. All right? You've got the blue, and I want you to think of any queen. But so you and Emma don't think of the same queen, Emma, just tell us, is your queen red or black?
Red.
Red. Okay, so Gavin, that leaves you a black queen. So you can think of either the queen of clubs or the queen of spades. Have you got one in your mind? Okay, so Emma, you had a totally free choice of which pack you were going to go for, and then you had a totally free choice of any one of the queens. So you know you went for the red pack. We all know that, but we don't know what queen you went for just yet, and you don't have to tell us. Gavin, you were left with a blue pack, and you had to choose one of the black queens. All right, but you've got that in your mind. But all your decisions were yours. I didn't control anything. All right?
No.
Now watch carefully. Just think of your cards for me. All we have to do is this and this. And if our imagination works, the cards you were thinking of will now be face up in the packs. All right? But even more than that, just this action here means the cards you were thinking of would have actually switched packets. It sounds crazy, but let me explain. Emma, what was the queen you were thinking of?
Queen of diamonds.
And Gavin?
Queen of clubs.
Queen of clubs. So Emma,
Yes, sir.
you chose the queen of diamonds. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Gavin, you chose the
Queen of clubs.
queen of clubs. Can you see that? But remember what I said. Your queens will turn face up. But a little bit more than that, I said they would switch places. That's why your queen of diamonds comes from the blue pack.
No.
Gavin, your queen of clubs comes from the red pack. Now, you both know me. You both know I do sleight of hand. So you might be thinking somehow I manipulated that to get those queens to turn face up by using sleight of hand. But even before this started, Emma, I knew you would choose the red pack and I knew you would choose the queen of diamonds. That's why there was never, ever any other queen in this pack.
No.
And Gavin, exactly the same for you. No other queens.
You know what? I thought you picked the Queen of Hearts. I've got to be honest. I thought it was going to be the Queen of Hearts.
No.
Oh, that was pretty sick.
That's really, really good. You still get me every bloody time.
So that was it. I know a lot of you will be sitting here going, but I've got that. You've got it, start using again. It's great. For those of you that haven't got it, it's this. Twisted Sisters by John Bannon. If you want more information of it or want to pick one up, you can do so by clicking that little information button up there. That will take you to our website where you can pick one up. We have got some in stock at the time of filming this. It's absolutely great. It is great. You've got so much magic and mentalism happening for literally no work. For those of you in the know, you will know that there was an Elmsley going on, but you don't have to perform it with an Elmsley. If you want to, you start with the packs down on the table. You say, I want you to imagine we've got 4 red queens here, 4 blue queens here. So an Elmsley doesn't even have to be done. The rest of the effect is absolutely 100% self-working. It's a beauty. Now, I used to perform this in a walk-around situation as well. I used to do the count, get someone to put their hand open, like palm out, place the cards on top of their palm and place the other hand on top. Do the same with the others. So I would get a lady, I would say, I've got 2 packs of cards, 2 small packets of cards. Would you like the red or would you like the blue? If she says the blue, place in her hands, get her to cover them up. And that leaves you with the red, sir, cover them up. And then I go into the routine, then I get them to lift their hand up very slowly, fan them, take the card out, put it face down on their hand, and then do these on top. And the same there. And it worked brilliantly as a walk around piece. It was great. I've also done this to open a little parlor set. And what I did was, instead of using the actual Twisted Sisters as is, I used it as a B-Wave, Max Maven's B-Wave, which is another phenomenal effect. But if you use only one section of the card, you only use the red ones, you've got B-Wave. So you've got two sets of B-Wave. And if you want to, and this is something I used to do, I used to say, in my pocket, I've got 4 queens. I want you to imagine any one of the queens. And as soon as they name it, I would have a pack in my right hand pocket, the blue, the red in my left, and I'd reach into either pocket, bring it out, and now it's any named queen, which is absolutely phenomenal. So that's a great way to do it, but it also works well at a top table at a wedding when you're speaking to a bride and groom, because it's something that uses two people, and you can talk about how people are connected, people that are close, how they're connected mentally as well as physically. So honestly, I can't say enough good things about Twisted Sisters. It's an item that is a staple. Any magic shop you go in, anywhere around the world, should have this on their shelves. And I can almost guarantee that if you ask to see some magic, this will be one of the tricks they dem to you. Why? Because it is so powerful. Very, very easy. Very, very powerful. There's not really much more I can say about this, apart from the fact that I picked it up when it first came out. Alexam was running around about the time that this came out, and we got them in. I fell in love with it, and as I said, every convention we went to, and we used to do quite a few because there was a lot of one-day conventions back then. We used to do quite a few of them. This was something that I demmed, and I must have demmed it for a good couple of years. And because, like I said, unless you went to a convention back in those days or you got the newsletter, you wouldn't have seen this. So unless you went to a convention or a magic shop, you wouldn't have seen this. So it would have been new to you. Everything had a longer shelf life. And this, I'm happy to say, is one of those effects that even, where are we now? We're sort of 27 years on, are we? And it's still great. It's still great. So John Bannon, Twisted Sisters, is standing on the shoulders of giants. You have got Max Maven with his phenomenal wave effect, but if you track it back, you will find that there are other versions of little 4-card brainwaves. I'm sure there's even one in Self-Working Card Tricks and Carl Fulves that dates back many, many years. I'm not sure if Max was the first one to utilise the gimmick involved for his version before Bannon came out with Twisted Sisters. Not really sure who was the first to use gimmick. I know Wave, as far as I'm aware, was out before Twisted Sisters. I may be wrong, but I think I'm right on that. But it's such a strong effect. Such a strong effect. No matter what performing situation you want to do it in, it's going to get you great reaction. And as you saw from that video, it works perfectly over video call. And I'm not sure what's going to happen for magicians in the coming months. I know at some point we will all get back to normal. We'll all be performing out there again, and things will be the same as what they were. But I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen in a couple of weeks. I think it's going to take a bit of time for parties to start happening, for people to start feeling comfortable to have big gatherings. Now, during this time, there's a lot of magicians. I've got a lot of friends that are now actually selling online shows, and they're being quite successful at it. So what you need to do is find yourselves effects that will play but still get a level of interaction coming through, and this is certainly one of those. We have got, me and Harry are, while we're in lockdown, we're doing a few sort of dealer dems and lectures for magic clubs over Zoom, and we've put a list together of effects that play well over camera and over Zoom. So over the coming episodes of Hidden Treasures, we will be delving into effects that you can do over Zoom and over Skype that play really, really big. And I'll see if I can speak to more of my nephews and nieces and perform more on them, so you can see how it actually feels over the sort of airways as such. But that's while the lockdown's going on. When we're through lockdown, then we'll go back to normal. But I think it's a very interesting thing, because we're getting a lot of phone calls in the shop from people saying, what tricks could I do over Skype? What tricks could I do over Zoom? So I want to highlight some of those for you. And that brings us on to a good point, actually. Let us know in the comments below if you're now doing Zoom and Skype and Facebook shows or performances, even if you're only performing to friends and families. And let me know what tricks you're using, because maybe there's some there that other people haven't thought of that would give them some great advice. So put that in the comment below. Let us know if you're performing anything, friends, family, whether it's paid, whether it's for corporate companies, whatever you're doing. Just put down what tricks you found have worked really well for you, just in case it's something we've missed. And also, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified of all future episodes of Hidden Treasures and all the other great content we've got coming on to Alex Sam's YouTube channel. So that's it really for this episode. Remember, if you want to get your hands on a Twisted Sisters, you can do so by hitting that information button just up there. Next time on Hidden Treasures, we've got another great effect that you can perform over Skype and Zoom. And also, it's an effect that we have used on a TV show before. In fact, a couple of TV shows, I think, not on Britain's Got Talent. But it's a great effect. It's been out for quite a few years. It's an absolute fooler if you don't know it. And I have fried some of the best brains in the business with it. So I can't wait to share that with you. Anyway, stay safe. Thank you so much for joining me on Hidden Treasures. And I will see you on the next episode.